Okay, so last time you were at... You had just finished your ninth and final temple.
And the cube was missing.
Yes, and it had the note, Rosnisi was here.
Was it like WUZ?
Absolutely.
Fucking high school kids.
So, yes, you had solved the puzzle of the ninth temple, had come in to get the puzzle cube, found the note that the young Tai had already beaten you to it. And through your adventures in the city, you know that the snake people reside in the circular region of the city. And you have saw them taking slaves in on one occasion. Joins Ricky.
So at this point, the leader of the snake people has the last cube we need.
Correct. And
So I
you know that
suppose
he's
like the
built.
best way to get him is just like we saw him, we saw them at any way, and at any rate at one place. So we could probably, like, if it's like they had a whole bunch of people there, we could probably just follow the tracks, right?
Yeah, they're in the big circle. The problem is there's
Yeah.
a horrific number of snake people in there.
And don't forget, they have tried to kidnap one of you in the past.
Yeah, they can charm you very easily. So
Oh, and he's not here now. Oh, great. They got him. They finally got him.
Okay, well, that's gonna bring me to my next point. It's not initiative. I want the overnight rest. We'll give you a long rest so you can start out fresh. However, you know, you find a building close to the temple, and you wake up the next morning, and the druid, there's no sign of him, nor is there any sign of Bjorn and or Bjorn, and while you're looking at where he slept and so forth, you can see these signs that he was like dragged off in the middle of the night.
mm. So we need to rescue our comrades without getting captured ourselves.
And find the cube.
So I'm assuming that the prisoners would be kept inside the big circle somewhere. And can the snake people swim? Can they breathe underwater?
Let's assume they can.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not sure about breathing underwater, but you do suspect that they can't swim.
But lizard people can breathe underwater, right? Or no, they can just hold their breath a long time.
It's like
Hold breath, yeah.
15 minutes,
Hmm.
like a crocodile.
Well, I'm just saying that because part of this big circle thing is underwater. It looks like there's an entryway on the northern section that is submerged. So if we needed a way to infiltrate and at least get a reconnaissance of what's going on in there, that might be a way to do it. Because if
What
the
about
snakes can't,
this?
what?
Like purple arrow. Does that look like an opening to you?
It might be an opening, but if it's an obvious surface opening, wouldn't they be
Yeah.
guarding it or watching it?
I suppose.
I mean, I can send Thing around. That's probably the best way. I'll send Thing invisible. I'll tell him that it's possible there are things in there that can see invisible things, so he should try to be discreet about his surveillance.
Maybe like smell or something. Smell him, maybe.
Well, I'm just saying, like fly over the wall, but don't like fly, 30 feet and do a zigzag pattern over. Because if somebody looks up and can see invisible and sees him, he's in trouble. So maybe fly from rooftop to rooftop and look around and see if he could find out where the slaves are kept, and specifically where the captive Bjorn and Druid is. And if he's not back in like half a day, I can recall him instantly back to me and then do a pocket dimension and then pop him back out.
Okay. Thing goes on his flight, and he's circling around, and the first thing that you notice as he's flying is the circular royal palace that is in the absolute center of the circle. And you can see crumbling arcades, and there's vine-choked statues, an empty plaza, and it's like the rest of Jolt. And as Thing flies north, you can indeed see that part of the circular wall there has indeed flooded. The water, depending on where you're at, could be anywhere from 1 to 10, 15 foot deep. He does see guards at the south and the western entrance. And really, what you're seeing is not so much guards, but Yanti that are engaged in some sort of activity outside. And from your vantage point, let me get a token. You do see up around the building that has the S, it's got some overgrown shrubs and so forth surrounding the building. And you notice that several of the Yanti guards just go into the shrubbery, and then you lose sight of them.
Entrances, hidden entrances.
Could be.
I mean, there's snakes, right? So.
Yeah. But I don't think we can just rush the front entrance. If I can get to a vantage point, I can Misty Step 30 feet across the wall, but that doesn't really get us where we need to get. I can even fly. But only self.
I can stealth.
You can stealth. Actually, my fly... touch a willing creature and give it flight. So theoretically, I could have you fly. He could swim in through the unguarded northern gate. I could fly you over the wall to some location. And then I could fly over the wall into some location at night. If we knew...
I wouldn't be with the party yet, though, right? So
Yes, let's backtrack that before thing comes in. While you're all looking for your two missing party members, um, you do notice a reptilian creature stalking around, watching you intently.
Well then.
And Silu, would you like to tell them what they see?
yeah, it's just lizard man with a glaive. Not wearing any armor. Dressed in his regular clothes.
But obviously not a Wanti.
Correct.
No.
Okay.
Let's see, what section? What section am I in? Am I like by the wall?
Truly, we're not in any area of the map that matters at this particular second.
Okay.
And you have a feeling that this giant lizard may know something about the disappearances of your friends.
Okay. I'll ready an Eldritch Blast. I'll tell Diego to circle to the side, and I'll have Thing fly up above him and say, "We want to talk. Make no sudden moves." So you hear a noise above you, and you hear a voice that says, "No. We want to talk. Make no sudden moves."
How close does it sound?
15 feet above your head.
Okay. Keep an eye out for it.
Yes, and just to roleplay or to advance this little segment, you end up meeting the lizard whose name is Hates Birds. And, he tells you he doesn't know what happened to the druid, but he was watching a group of Yanti last night, and they snuck in your camp and stole one of your party members. And he gives you directions which really just coincide with the secret entrance that the thing is going to see the Deonti disappear into.
Okay.
And being in the area for a while, Hates Birds would tell you that this is an active colony of young Yanti. There could be anywhere from 20 to 50 in there at any given time, but you should Always guess that the higher number will be there.
Does
Well,
the familiar look like a bird?
the familiar is invisible.
Okay.
Assuming we establish some sort of rapport, I'll tell him that the familiar that spoke to you earlier is an imp and under my control. I can see through his eyes,
Okay.
and he helps distract our enemies. That's his primary purpose in life. To tell very, very bad your mama jokes. So, do you have any ideas about getting to this secret location without going in the front door?
Show you guys my grappling hook rope.
Is the wall overgrown in a number of areas, or is it kept clear?
For the most part, it's kept clear. There are a few large trees that you could climb and drop down over.
Okay, that may be the best way. Pick some.
I
Yeah,
can just swim in. I mean, but
just presenting a couple of options here. You could sneak in. You could just kick down the front door. Or you can allow yourselves to be captured and taken in as slaves.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, I think our chances would probably be heightened if they A, didn't know we were there, and B, had weapons, and C, weren't like chained up as slaves.
I was thinking maybe like something like here, right? Somewhere out of sight of the two front gates in the middle of the night. If Thing can establish that any of these buildings aren't in regular use, like there with the courtyard, we could hop over in the middle of the night, not seen, and then
Kind of spread out.
Diego, you could stealthily check out this building to see what the entryway is like. How often assuming we can watch the front gate unseen, how often do they change guards?
Well, like I said, it's not like they're on guard duty so much as they're just doing errands and, I hate to say, cleanup and community service. But, there's little tasks not directly related to watching the gate.
Going to
Okay.
the bathroom,
Yeah.
Playing some canasta. Okay.
Yeah.
What are wanting nocturnal, more active during the day? Mix.
Yeah, they're mixed.
Okay. Well, Diego, what do you think? Jumping over the wall? If Thing...
jumping over the wall is probably pretty decent. I mean, it's not an opening, and therefore would be less inclined to be guarded closely. And I mean, it's just as good as anything else we got now. I think it's either that or go in by water, but run the risk of
we have to travel the entire distance of the whole place.
And I wouldn't exactly be thrilled with going in by boat. So over the wall sounds good for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I could swim in.
The problem is that once you've swum in, you gotta cross the entire length of this compound, and there are people just milling about. It would be difficult to get all the way across without being seen or asked or. So I'm thinking like this building, if it is like it seems, it has a courtyard in the back that faces the wall. So once we're over the wall, we're hidden from sight. I'll have Thing check out this building and see if it's currently in use. Are there Wanti in there?
Yeah, as things flying around, he's not seeing any activity other than, the occasional guard coming in and out of a building like they're looking for something or, gathering shit. But, yeah, you can't really see any true above ground settlement.
Okay. Well, that's a question. Maybe there are in one of these buildings on the outside. Well, maybe they purposely don't have entrances to their underground lair outside of the circle.
Why don't you just waylay some of them and interrogate them?
Getting them to talk might be difficult.
They're good eating if it doesn't work.
Tastes like chicken. Let's see, I have a hypnotic pattern that doesn't really, I don't think they have a way of, I can comprehend languages, so I think I can tell what they're saying, but
Sure, I could
convince
talk lizard, though.
That's a very racist thing to think all lizards speak the same lizard. You know how many kind dialects of fork tongue there are?
Yeah, but they have one in common, fortunately.
Yeah, Draconic would probably be popular.
Well,
You just want to Zerg rush in?
And you do have option number 4. You could just go up to the door and knock.
that's not on the list.
But is it safe to assume that you're going to spend the daylight hours looking for entrances and examining the guards and whatnot?
Yeah, I think we will hang out not in the building where they waylaid us and try to make our way to some other building close by, like that one, and have Thing reconnoiter and wait till the night to try and make our move.
Am I supposed to be seeing like some like diagrams or something when you talk about that one, or?
I should see an arrow.
Huh, I don't see any arrows.
Yeah, I was.
His
looking.
is gray. His arrow is gray because of the color of his dice.
Okay,
So it doesn't come up. It doesn't come up super.
let's do this. Let's
Yeah,
change.
I'm not seeing.
But he was.
There. You see that one?
Ah, yeah, down by number 4.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
Okay, there. I changed it to red.
Yeah, and while you're having Thing out, you do see a group of Yanti returning from the jungle. And, they're marching down the alleyway. You're nice and hid. You're watching them go through the north entrance, and they go to that building.
Okay, I'll have Thing watch where they go into the ground or wherever they're going.
By group, how many?
By group, there's 6 of them.
Okay.
And Thing sees them clear off some vines on the side of the building, where they push them out of the way. And you can see a ramp. Let me resize that. You can see a 10-foot wide passageway cut into the solid part of the rock of this building, and it's a secret ramp going down. And Thing is able to see the young T go down. They do their secret hand gesture at the doors open. From there, you can see 4 guards guarding that door. They welcome the auntie, they come in, and the door's shut.
Mm. So there's,
So you want to open the door?
well, that's the problem. If we open up the door,
It's a fight on site.
it's a fight on site. We don't know, even if we know the secret 1T hand jive. Now maybe Thing could go in and find another entrance in, but there may not be another entrance in.
Yeah, well, the thing is examining the situation. You can see that there are coiled serpents decorating the bronze doors. You see a sliding hatch at head height. And at the base of the door, you see 4-inch wide holes piercing the base of each door.
So, like places snakes could come out or something. Who knows?
That was a druid.
I have a crowbar. I'm gonna rip the door open.
Yeah, once we start making noises, we are dog chow. We are snake.
I mean, I don't really have much other, unless we find another way in. Like, I mean, I don't have any other way of getting in.
Could have the familiar make noises and see what chases him.
Yeah, I mean, if he could get in, there might be a window. When he goes around the building, are there any other windows or doors that don't appear to be totally barred?
Yes, but they go to that building, not to the underground section.
Okay. So here's a plan. A crazy plan. If we are within range, I could do the whole hypnotic pattern thing again. Right? So say the doors are opening and people are coming out. I do the hypnotic pattern and it freezes a certain number of them. Right?
Right.
And then we kill the ones that are still moving. We don't hurt in any way the ones that are frozen in place.
Why not?
Because second you do them damage, they will wake up from the hypnotic pattern and be able to attack you. They're frozen. So we kill only the ones that are woke up, and then we slowly, one at a time, kill the ones that are frozen.
Okay.
As quietly as we can. Now, can we do this without alerting the gate? Maybe.
Yeah,
I should be able to hide the bodies.
the problem is if we don't get enough of them in the hypnotic pattern initially, because it worked really well against frogs, it may not work very well against Yuan Ti.
We should be fine.
Yeah. The only other option I can think of that I can do that might, that might help is if I'd use darkness. I can cast darkness and still see in it. So I could cast darkness when the doors are opening and people are coming out, and I could walk right up to the doors and then none of them could see anything. And as they stumble out of the dark, you guys could kill them. I'm a never-ending stream of exact terrible plans.
I like the hypno plan.
Hypno plan?
I can also drop darkness, and that would save you from a slot.
Oh, that would be
But
good.
generally, I hit hardest.
Yes. You were saying?
It's not a bad plan. It does have merit. Rosnisi has been an Omu for a while. If the puzzle cubes were his priority, why does he only have one?
Probably because he wants to talk to us, because we want it.
Why would he leave a note?
Because he's a dick. Maybe it was the only one he could get. All the other ones were too tough for him. Which means we can take him, boys.
Or I don't know. Since he had access to this Soul 4G thing, whatever it is, my guess was that he always had he eventually got all the cubes, right?
Well,
he got all the cubes. He got
don't
access
know
to this
that
thing.
The Soul Forge is his plan.
Oh, I thought he was using it somehow.
You know he's somehow connected, but he's not the leader of it.
Well, isn't he didn't they say he was like a necromancer or some shit? And he was the one that brought all the undead here or something?
Yes, he's been around for a long time. He went through a transformation ritual to become a Yanti. He's the leader of them. He's got his own plans for world domination. But being this close, being an Omu and this close to the cause of the death curse, it's a big coincidence that he's not somehow not involved, you know what I mean? And you know, even hates birds would tell you that, you know, he's been stalking them for a couple of days now, and there's been a lot of increased activity. Like they're searching for other shit in the city. He's seen them going in and coming out of several of the temples.
I mean, maybe we can combine sort of like going to see him and our original plan. Maybe if we can get, like, assuming they don't like strip us or anything. Assuming we can get in the same room with him. If you know, we don't like the way it's turning, we can just drop darkness and we can throw down a couple darkness orbs and just fucking like tear ass. Or
So what do you want to walk right in? Plan?
well, I mean, we could knock on the door and just be like, give you the note, and you can speak in Draconic and say, hey, we want to talk to your boss. And if they attack us, well then we're right where we are right now. And if they don't attack us, then maybe we can get there without being horribly injured, and maybe Alpha Strike the boss if he's a jerk.
I don't like our chances. I mean, if he is looking for the other cubes, we're handing them all the other cubes.
Remember, he did just like kidnap one of us while we slept.
He nearly kidnapped one of us when we were awake.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
True.
If you want, I'll walk up. Sure.
And that's assuming that you're all dumb enough to walk in there with the other 8 cubes on your person.
We could bury them first. You know, maybe bury 2 piles. You know, a 4 somewhere.
It's a shame Cathmus leaving. I would have the Grungs dig him up and demand his head in return.
Just make it another story. Yeah, next time you run Tomb of Annihilation, you can just have like the story of this paladin that's being constantly chased by Grung throughout the jungle. Well, I mean, it's either that or go in swinging, or try to lure them out and then jump them.
Well, why don't we do Hates Bird's plan, where we try to waylay a small group of them, and then try to beat the information out of one of them. Then we'll know more than we know right now.
Okay, as long as we don't go with Kathma's plan of like letting him go afterwards.
Yeah, that's not happening. Unless we want to, we need to send a message to Rasnisi. Then we could just staple it to his head and send him on his way.
Yeah, right. We could stuff the note that we found into his head and roll it up to the gate.
Yeah. An exclamation point.
Yeah, just Gallagher that shit right in front of the door.
Oh, with the glaive. There you go. With the glaive. Watermelon everywhere. Okay, so...
All right, well then let's set up an ambush.
Okay.
So you don't want to go with the note idea then, doing the ambush.
That'll be plan B.
Okay.
We need more information, so we'll try to beat it out of one of them.
Great. Okay, so we'll set our trap.
Okay.
See if we can find like a pattern of or a group coming, and then we can set up an ambush like 10 minutes, 15 minutes ahead of time.
A smaller group, maybe 4 or 5. We don't need the group of 15 plus 30 slaves.
And there's no yarn. And we got Hates Birds.
And set up like an Ewok trap.
Are you gonna do the little dancing when it succeeds?
Yub, motherfucker. Yub. Would that be the 2 logs that smash together trap, or the The spiked pit trap.
Okay.
I like where all their traps are just complete garbage, and then all of a sudden, two giant trees on vines come out and crush an ATSD. I was
Turn
like,
it
why
up
weren't
some
they all
power.
like that? Why weren't they all like that? Why were one trap like four guys jumping up throwing stones, or like trying to pull down an ATST with a vine? Like, why was that a plan when you had that kind of shit going on?
Dropping rocks from a leather hang glider. That's
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, we've got a new map, and you have found a good ambush spot as well as identified 2 ambush subjects.
All right. Do you want me to like stealth or anything so I can get a stealth jump on the murder style?
Yeah, let's do stealth checks, and we can do a surprise round.
Let's see here.
okay. Skills. Woohoo.
And go ahead and throw your initiative rolls in there as well.
Initiative.
I roll so terribly. I have this massive initiative bonus, and I always roll like 2.
Okay, I got a 6, I guess.
Yes, you did. And you're on there. Okay, and yeah, truly, they don't see you coming. If you all would like to move a little closer so you can have a full surprise round, you
So
can.
they're okay. So they like 5-foot squares.
Yes.
Actually, he could be. He's invisible. He could be hiding behind the tree.
I can move right up to them. Let me see. I'm trying to remember how to move.
Just drag the token.
Let's see. I think I can hit both of them if I go here, right? Is it my reach?
Yeah, but being a surprise round, let's see, you could go,
Or maybe more like this kind of thing.
yeah, right in there to get them with reach. Because during the surprise round, you can do a move or an action, not both.
Okay.
So, Thing, what do you want to do?
Thing is gonna fly over. Go psst, psst, around their heads. Curse them in their native snaky language. And disrupt them. And then fly back. Thus giving the help action and guiding bolts. Grant advantage. There we go. And that's the thing.
Okay, the young T are like, what was that? And Orin.
Let me reapply that because it should have stayed until his next turn. Okay. my turn, I'm going to... So I can move or act, not both.
Correct.
Okay. So what's my negative through shooting through the bush? Too much?
Yeah, if you, I'll let you move down where you can have a clear shot if you would like. While you were setting up the ambush.
Okay. Just want to be able to step out so I can shoot. The good old Eldritch Blast. Attack. Damage. Attack. And damage. And that is my turn.
All right, so jump out of hiding and stab.
Stabby, stabby, stab.
All right.
Okay, I'll just do a glaive attack versus Yanti Bodyguard. Let's see, how do I target him?
You can control click or you can drag your attack dice and drop on the token you want to hit.
Alright, let's see. Looks like I get +5. The see, that would be 16, I guess.
It should calculate it automatically.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I didn't see you make a roll.
alright, so how do I make a roll? Do I just double click?
Got it.
+5.
Okay. And I'll do the, let's see, that does D10 +2 slashing.
Good roll.
I'll do my extra attack. Probably is a miss.
Yep. That one
Let's
missed by a
see.
mile.
And how do I end the turn?
On the combat tracker, the down arrow. And then we're up to the thing. And we are in a regular round now.
Okay. Go over there and tell him
Your mother was a king snake.
your mother gave up the tail too easy. And grant advantage. And that's the thing's turn.
Okay, number 11 is gonna try to bite Diego.
I'm gonna uncanny dodge.
And let's take the damage. And then he's gonna try and claw you. That dodge doesn't do you much good.
No, but better to use it.
Okay, number 12 is gonna come up. And we're going after the lizard. That was a miss. It's gonna try and claw. And that was a miss.
I don't have my bite on my abilities tab. Just think of biting him. Do I move the bite over? Oh,
I
it's
got
not
it.
my turn. Soren's turn anyway.
There we go. I will move down a bit so where I can see a little better. And I will blast the one that's on Diego. And a miss. And a hit. Go. Got him into the heavy. And that's my turn.
All right.
You have advantage on the one to your right.
On 12.
On 12 because of the help action from the thing. I don't know if you need it or not for your surprise attack.
I don't need it. No, I don't need it for sneak attack. But yeah, I'm just gonna go after 11 here, and hopefully not roll like crap. All right, excellent. No, I don't need it for my sneak attack. There we go.
Okay, you got one bleeding out on the ground.
All right, and I'll go with the dagger. And hit. And I shall fancy footwork away.
Okay. So is the one next to me is let's see, that's
Yeah,
okay, so-
the one south of you is still alive.
okay. Is my strength bonus +5 or is that wrong? Just looking at the damage for the bite, but I'll go with the bite or the glaive, yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I'll do an attack.
No, strength is just +2.
Damage for the glaive.
This would be the time we, like, you know, offer a surrender.
The second attack, let's see. Bite him. Let's see, I have +2 here instead of +5, so I should edit that, or can I change it?
Where the hell?
Well, you're +5 to hit, but your damage would be +2.
The ability says, let me take a look here.
Yeah, unless it's something special.
It says 1d6 plus your strength modifier piercing.
Yeah, so if your strength is 14 or 15, it should be +2.
Oh, okay, and that's
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah, but you add your proficiency to hit, so that's where the +5 is coming to the attack.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you managed to drop the second Yanti, and they are both unconscious on the ground and bleeding out.
Okay. I can use my celestial, one of my healings, to revive one of them back to somewhat alive.
I get my healer's kit and start patching up the other one.
Or even just stabilizing them.
Yeah.
Well,
just-
if you pop them up with 1 hit point, though, they'll wake up. Where like stabilize takes a while. Like, once you're unconscious to wake up.
Okay. Well, you can stabilize the one, and I'll make sure because we need to get at least one of them, right?
yeah.
I can't really target him, but I will
Right.
heal him for 1 point of damage, 1 point of healing. Haha. You're barely alive.
Okay, I'll just stabilize the other.
Sure. That way we have a second option. And drag them into the bushes off of the path, and we can start their interrogation.
Okay.
And I'm feel sure you're going to bind them.
Yeah, bind them, drag them off. Maybe check to see if we've left a lot of blood, or we don't want to leave tracks to where we went.
Yeah,
Somebody searches for them.
you're able to easily cover it up and so forth. The blood that was left on the ground and your ambush. And you tie him up and you revive the one Yanti, and you can tell he's just furious and he's hissing at you and what do you want to do from there?
We can explain to the one that's awake that at least one of them's going to get eaten by our lizardman friend here. If he doesn't want to help out, maybe the other one will.
Is he talking yet?
He's like, what do you want to know? And, he's just very gruff and what is it you want?
We want to know how many of his people are in the city and
If
where they're
there's
located.
yeah, like where Ross Nisi is located specifically. And then maybe we can find out about if there's any hidden entrances.
We can even show him the note in Rosnisi's own hand.
Yeah.
Rosnisi left us a note.
I'm searching them to see if they have any like gold or things on them.
No, you're not finding anything of value on him. He tells you that Ross Nisi has a court and a private room in the Fane. And the Fane is the underground complex that the Yanti inhabit. At any given time, there are 50 or more combatants inside the Fane. And through, at times, your not so subtle interrogation tactics, he talks about a change in Rosnisi over the past few weeks, and he's actually becoming sick. And he appears to be getting worse every day, and some of the symptoms that the auntie is describing that Rosnisi has kind of matches what you've seen and heard about the death curse.
Necromancer came back from the dead at some point, or that stands to reason.
So maybe he's looking to heal himself as much as he's looking for the power.
And maybe like he can't go get it or he can't go stop it for some reason, which is why he only took one. So whoever got the other ones would have to come see him. Maybe, I don't know, maybe only like the living or whatever can go in there, or people who haven't died. Or maybe it just speeds up the process or something, like if you get close to the thing. And or you know, maybe it's just like, you know, I can't imagine it just being a danger. Just the danger alone is what's keeping him from going in there. He's so close that, you know, it stands to reason he'd have a better shot getting himself free than just waiting for anybody to come in and help him. So there's got to be a reason that. So probably he can't get close to it for whatever reason because he's dead.
Well, I don't want to go in to ask him. How about we put a note on this guy, send him in, and have Rosnisi come out to meet us?
Okay. Start stuffing the other one into my bag.
Alright.
Well, but let me give you a little more story while you're
Okay.
all deciding. Rosnisi really wants to usher forth Dendar, the Night Serpent, and trigger the end of the world. However, as you have found out, he is sick and he's growing weaker by the day, and neither him nor his priest, you know, they're just like the rest of the world. They haven't been able to ascertain the cause or to find a remedy for him. And as he's growing weaker, there's a power play. And some of his rivals, I'm going to type that name into the chat, are secretly working to overthrow him. And Phantasia there is second in power only to Rosnisi and is the temple's high priest. And she's never truly been happy with Rosnisi for holding on to those parts of his human personality when he made the transformation. And she is gathering strength and, you know, waiting to see as Rosnisi becomes weaker what exactly she can do to take action against him.
Is the Wanti that we are talking to for Rosnisi or for Phantasia?
Really, he's for Rosnisi.
Okay, then he is a great person for us to give a note to Rosnisi. Rosnisi needs to stop dying or he's going to lose control. So he needs to give us the cube because our mission is to stop the soul thing from killing everyone, which is, I assume, what's killing him. So he's probably not just going to send it out to us, but maybe we could talk Rosnisi into meeting us at the gate, and then we don't actually meet him at the gate. We just talk through thing.
Here's another thing. If we wait for the other guy to wake up and find out that he's actually for the other person, maybe we can set up a deal with the other person to try to help murder Rosnisi and then get the cube in return. Although, whenever that happens in the movies, they always try to kill you afterwards, so...
yes,
and once we kill him, you know, in order to get the cube, we would have to kill him first. And then she would really have no need Yeah, no, never mind. I don't want to chance it on snake person honor.
Okay, so I finished stuffing it into my bag.
What are you stuffing into your bag?
The second prisoner.
Hey, can't you make stuff out of like things like creatures and their skins? So you can
Yeah.
like make leather armor out of this one.
Do not encourage him.
I could use a new belt, some new shoes. Oh,
The
shoes.
When
the
Steph
bag.
comes back, we'll have him change into like a dinosaur so we can murder him and have dinosaur hide.
Sweet.
But yes, really, if Rosnisi's second in command won't go against him directly without stacking the deck, you doubt very seriously anyone would be up for murdering him.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah, let's go with the first plan. Let's send.
Okay. Okay, so do we want to just send in a note on this guy to Rosnisi to send out the cube? Or do we want to send in a note to Rosnisi to meet us in a public place with minimal guards or no guards or something?
I think we'd probably have a better shot at getting him out with the cube if we ask for a meeting with him and tell him to bring the cube, than just send in a note and telling him to send the cube out.
Okay,
For
so
no reason. Like, I mean, it's not like he's going to come out to save this other guy that's in a bag now. You know, he's going to let us keep this guy. So, you know, necromancers are not exactly known for being, like, super loyal, I don't think.
So I can eat the other one now, right?
It depends.
Yeah, just do it behind a tree. We don't want to have to see
that. Which bag did you stuff him in?
The one with the imp treats in it.
Okay. All right. So, which note are you going with?
we're going to ask for Rosnisi to come out with the cube and meet us at noon, because that's always how these things are supposed to go. What do we want to say about guards?
And where exactly?
South of the circle or somewhere else further out into the city, or we could meet.
Hey, we found him.
Surprise, it's me.
You were kidnapped, and yet we just found you.
Y'all had me kidnapped while I was absent.
Yes.
Hey, look, guys, under this tree.
Are you going to assume that Rosnisi is going to meet, or are you going to wait for the messenger to come back with a reply?
Nah, we're going to assume that he's going to come meet. How about we meet at the bridge? We'll be on the west side of the bridge. He'll be on the east side of the bridge.
Maybe we could tell him for, like, guards, like, no more than 2.
Yeah, like that bridge over to this section, because we need to head north to get to the entrance to the thingamabob.
Do we want him to meet us in this circle? In like
No.
this, in his area? Yeah, that's okay. Good.
No,
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
was
over
thinking, too.
on the river. There's a bridge west of number 4. Trying to draw a thing to it. It's right there. I wish you could control the width of your lines.
Yes, I agree.
I think everyone needs that badly.
All right.
Do you see that bridge?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell them
It's as
to
good as any.
he gets on the east side of the bridge, so he's safe. We're on the west side of the bridge, so we're safe-ish. And then I can talk through Thing. Thing can be on the other side. We could talk through him or meet on the bridge or whatever. See what his deal is. And do you want to keep him to no more than 2 guards?
It seems like a reasonable number.
Well, if he's under threat from his own people, that may be a number too small. You could just say a small number of only your personal bodyguards, right? Whatever.
So we're not going to eat him.
Not yet.
Or I can tell him, like, any excess of 2 bodyguards must be left like 100 meters away or something.
Sure. Whatever.
Okay, you write the note, pin it to the Yanti's chest, and send him on his way.
Okay, so I didn't kill him.
Uh,
He's living.
yeah, he kind of a little gun shy around the lizard man, so he doesn't even ask about his buddy. He just hightails it out. And time passes and you're making your way to the rendezvous point. And you get set up and you're waiting and you see the sun approach noon in the sky and you're waiting a little bit longer and finally you see some motion. And it's a Yanti pureblood, which is the more humanoid and less snaky version. And pretty much semi-royalty of the Yanti. And she is approaching carrying a staff with a white flag on it. And from what you all and Thing are able to make out, she has come alone. And, you all step out to meet her, and she stops about 30 feet, and, she tells you that she brings tidings from her Lord and Master Rosnisi, and Rosnisi regrets to inform you that he is unable to travel to meet with you, that the many demands of the Fane prohibit him from venturing out at this time to meet with you.
And
How-
I feel like I missed a hell of a lot of stuff.
They're trying the diplomatic solution to handling the snake den.
Ah, okay.
Before you went to check out the snake den, you all had a long rest, and you were kidnapped by the Yanti in the middle of the night.
I guess that's one way to deal with a corporation.
So, however, her lord does want to meet with you, and if you all are able to help, he is willing to extend the hospitality of the Yanti and allow you safe passage to come meet with him.
Well, a precondition, even if we were to accept that, is the return of our comrades.
She looks at you a little puzzled and says, "Comrades, we only have one." And she describes Bjorn to you.
I ask her why they want Bjorn so bad. Is it the smell?
They were, he was easiest to capture, and, just like you, captured, two of our men, we just wanted information. And
As we only gave one back, they're only going to give one back. Ha ha ha.
your comrade has been treated well, and no harm has befallen him.
Yeah, same with yours. All right, and then yeah, sure. Let's meet. The lizard man's just around the corner eating the other one as I say that.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Well, before we go in, we need to make sure that the cubes are not findable.
Yeah, we can bury them after we send her back, and we're sure we're not being seen.
Yeah, well, the thing can grab a cube, turn it invisible, fly it somewhere, and hide it in a place that they can't normally even get to. Right? It could be in the roof of a place. It could be.
So you're gonna let thing just tied to cubes.
Telling us where they are. Does that make sense, Diego? Hates birds.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine with me. I mean, it's a good enough.
Because we could be seen burying stuff, but
how big are the cubes?
They're like 3 inches by 3 inches.
Well, theoretically, I could just leave him out here somewhere with the cubes. Right? Hiding.
I kind of like the idea of having our invisible scout
with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we send him somewhere to hide the cubes. And in the roof of some place or somewhere. He's invisible, so no one can see him go where he needs to go to hide it and wherever he needs to hide it. And then when we need to retrieve it, he could retrieve it without any fuss. Right?
So you don't think carrying the cubes would be a good idea?
No, if we die, he's got the cubes. He may even string us up and then try to get the information of where the cubes are.
Okay.
So that might be beneficial in that
we don't know.
Well, how am I going to talk to your familiar if you're both dead?
Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't. Well, and that is a theory. I could stay out and you two could go in. We could all go in. I mean, that's the thing. They could torture us to get where the cubes are.
Yeah, but if the imp takes it, and we don't know.
Yeah, but they could torture me until I make the imp.
Why don't you have the imp draw a treasure map?
Then we still have to know where the treasure map is, right?
Carve it into one of these trees here.
Actually, there is one way this could be done. If I have thing hide the cubes and not tell me where they are. Then he follows us. If at any point I dismiss him, like completely dismiss him, when I call find familiar again, I don't get the same one. So the knowledge of where the cubes is gone. So we can tell him that, like, if at any point in time this goes south, I dismiss my familiar and the knowledge of where the cubes are is gone.
And he'd have to go to the 9 hells to get it.
And by the time you find them, you'll be dead.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Is
good. That sounds good.
Is that conniving enough? Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Do it.
So they walk in then.
That works for me.
Okay. So he flies to some building, we don't know where, hides them in the roof of said building, or somewhere, his discretion, we don't really know where. But somewhere that he's not seen, he's invisible, unlikely in searching they could ever find it. And then he rejoins me, and then we... Or do the Wanti seem lawful, meaning they will keep their word about not killing us? And the
Pretty
parlay?
much every single tale about a snake, it's deceiving.
I thought they had like roof snakes here. They could see through.
Maybe, but maybe not invisible limbs.
You know, you have heard horror stories of the Auntie. You know that overall they are more evil, especially, you know, wanting to release Dendar, the Night Serpent, and bring about the apocalypse. But you've never heard any story of a Yanti breaking a promise that was given to someone. Whether it'll be, you know, I'll help you, or, hey, one day I'm going to kill you.
A lot of tales about trade negotiations and with Yanti out there.
There's a few.
All right.
Sounds like a deal. March on in. But it does beg the question, where is the Druid?
Probably transformed back into a dog and went looking for the rest of that pack. It's canon, I said it.
I agree.
I need another blade druid with this druid ever.
Okay, and I'm going to reshare the Fane map with you all.
Out of curiosity, is there that one temple that was surrounded by lava? Was there any like outcropping near the lava that looked like it could fit all of the cubes?
Yeah, you could probably find a spot there.
So thing could just stick them somewhere around the lava, preferably if there's specifically any space that anything other than thing trying to get to them would cause them to fall into the lava.
Yeah, I'm sure he found somewhere. The main thing is that it would take them so long to scour the entire city for every crevice that he could have jammed them into that Rasnisi will be dead long before they find it.
We hope.
Okay, so it's the appointed time for your meeting with Rasnisi, and this would be...
So there were holes in the door. What are those for?
Snakes.
Yes, let's see. Set the purebloods. Yeah, the Yuan-Ti warriors can use its action to polymorph into a medium snake. And that's what the holes in the door are for, so they don't have to always open the door to let someone in. But you go down through the corridor, you see, the bronze doors with the walls and so forth, and delete from tracker, delete only foes. You bang on the door, you announce who you are and that you have a meeting with Rosnisi, and you hear some commotion behind the door, mainly someone barking orders, and you can hear grunting and so forth as there we go. As the doors start to open, and I'm not putting all of you all on the map unless combat breaks out. And I want to delete that token. I want to go there, top level, and P. And you're confronted with 4 Yuan-Ti. And what the hell is he? Yeah, he's another Yuan-Ti, and he's like, we've been expecting you, and if you will follow me. And he leads you down the hallway, and into, you see another chamber. This chamber has 4 carved pillars, and they've got serpent reliefs, and they're supporting the 20-foot high ceiling. And in the middle of this room is an 18-foot high statue of a coiled cobra facing north. You see torches with green flame flickering on the wall, and the air reeks of dung. You can see 2 wagons that are parked in one corner, and in the northwest corner you can see a fenced-in pen that is currently housing a triceratops.
Love what you done with the place.
Absolutely. And
A baby triceratops.
Dung, triceratops, it just really goes together.
It's eclectic. Got that 70s vibe.
And he takes you further into the room and takes you through the side door, of which you see this engraved stone disc set into the floor, and there's a ramp going down, and you're looking over into this much larger room, and this underground cathedral opens up before you. You see a sculptured balcony perched atop 5 rearing stone serpents. You see blood dripping from their jaws, and they're following into the semicircular basin which goes down through a trough into this wide stone bowl set into the floor. Um, in front of it, you can see this cauldron of steaming broth that is exuding these fleshy odors.
What's the wooden thing we're standing next to?
I'm sorry, that wooden thing is the support for a gong.
Oh, okay.
Huge brass warning gong. And, they're giving you the nickel tour and, telling you that this is the actual heart of the fane and so forth. And you can see a portcullis entry to the east there. There's an entrance to the south. There's a set of double doors that the Yanti takes you into. And you can hear commotion. You're not seeing anyone, but you can hear activities coming from other rooms. And throne room. And the Yanti ends up leading you into the throne room. You see 4 pillars and a vaulted ceiling, and there's steps ascending to an iron throne that's been carved in the likeness of a hydra. And painted on the wall behind it is a large blue triangle. To the south, you can see this alcove, and there's an engraved stone disc set into the floor of the alcove, and you can see an opening in the east wall that looks like it leads to a flooded cave. And sitting on the throne is Rosnisi himself.
I hope his Iron Throne is sturdier than some other Iron Thrones we've had in recent years.
Oh, he doesn't look in too great shape.
No, just by looking at him, there's no doubt that he's under the curse or under the death curse. He appears to be slowly rotting away. And, as you enter, the Yanti announces to his lord, hey, I brought the adventurers, and calls you out by name and so forth. And Rosnisi's like, I see you got my message.
Okay.
I am glad that you have agreed to this meeting. I wanted to get your attention, and it appears that I have it. And he's like, what is your purpose in Omu?
First, we were told that our companion would be returned to us.
Yes, and he motions his hand, and one of the guards in the room, number 7, bows to everyone in the room and exits the room. And he's like, once again, what is your purpose in Omu?
We are here, as many have come to this continent to put an end to the death curse.
The death curse. Tell me, what do you know about the death curse?
First I ever heard of it.
The
Yeah, you may have been in the woods long enough to not know anything at all about it. We have no backstory for your lizard characters, so
Yeah.
the soulmonger is here in Chult, and it is draining the life away of all who've been resurrected or brought back from the dead.
you see his eyes light up at that, and he wants to know more about what you know. Uh, he's been struck with some affliction, and him and his priest haven't been able to figure it out. I'm getting weaker every day, and you tell me that the death curse affects people that have been resurrected before, which naturally I have been. And what makes you think it's in Chult?
Greater minds than I have thought about it, both good and evil. In fact, we even ran into what's her name?
Valandra.
We ran into the infamous Lalandra in the floating tree island, and
Oh
she's
my-
also here looking for this. If that many great minds come to the same conclusion, it would most likely be true.
Do you want to point out that all the signs have led you to the Tomb of the Nine Gods?
Yeah, I'll tell him that, what was that Naga? The Naga lady mentioned that this is where the soulmonger was. Soulmonger was behind it, part of the old magic. And so everywhere we've gone, it's the arrow, the signs all point to here.
And at that, Rosnisi becomes visibly upset, and he's like, I should have known. Aseric was behind it. And, you think that he would have protected his loyal follower from this instead of playing me for a fool.
Have you heard the name of Sarek before? Trying to remember. I don't think I've seen it.
I don't believe that
Who's the Sarek?
Are you? Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just like Asarak is how I always pronounced it, but
close enough.
yeah, I don't know which is right. It took me a second to figure it out, but yeah, he's D&D royalty, man. He's like super D&D bad guy. He's I know, I just know of him, like, obviously metagaming, but
Yeah, I don't think Valandra mentioned him. I know the Naga didn't.
Yeah, I've just been jotting down names. And
I'm
that
pretty
one.
sure the name came up. I don't know if it was in character, but I'm pretty sure the last
yeah, it
that I was in, the
seemed
name came up.
it seemed somewhat familiar. We heard something about him earlier, but nothing specific that I recall. But I don't remember.
And Rosnisi's able to see that, by the blank look on your faces, you don't know who he's talking about, and he tells you that Asarak is, or Asarak is, this lich that slew. You might have a little bit of it because he is the one that killed the 9 gods of Omu.
Oh, okay.
And he enslaved the population to build the tomb of the 9 gods. And Rosnisi has a deal. The Yuan-Ti believe that there's a locked gate under a mountain range here in Chult that prevents the Night Serpent from entering the world. And Asarak has promised to help Rosnisi unlock the gate. But in return, he wants help defending the tomb of the 9 gods and protecting the vast riches that are placed in the tomb. Rosnisi does know that in order to enter the tomb, that you need the 9 stone cubes. And he doesn't know how to use them to get into the tomb. But he noticed that you all were collecting them and to get information and see if maybe you could provide him with some help. He took one of them to meet with you all.
Ah.
And
We've been searching for the cubes.
Yes, our deal with Rosnisi is, we provide protection from the outside. He has his own crew, and I'm sure horrors from one such as him that he has actually placed in the tomb.
Ah. Well, as he seems to have betrayed you, would you give us the cube and aid our quest to put an end to the soulmonger that will surely kill you?
Yes, I am more than happy to help, especially since he's played me for a fool. And, I'm trying to figure out why I'm dying, and it's his fault. And, he's supposed to be helping me bring about the apocalypse, and it doesn't seem like he's helping a lot. So, yes, and I will give you the cube, and one of the more important people in the throne room walks over and hands you the cube. About the same time that the far door opens and a Yuan-Ti appears with Bjorn. And Bjorn is accompanied by one of the female purebloods, and he appears to be absolutely smitten with her. That he's got that low constitution.
See, the last time this happened, I had to go ahead and stab the girl. So maybe if you could maybe let that go so we don't have to do that.
Yeah, she's more than happy to release the suggestion, and she looks at Bjorn and says, you need to stay with your friends, and he looks a little heartbroken as she walks away, but he's no worse for wear. There's no signs of injuries. Looks like he's been treated well. And Rosnisi continues that, if the device that you're seeking, the so-called soulmonger, is indeed in the tomb of the nine gods, it's a dangerous place. Those who have gotten past the Yanti guards and gained entrance into the tombs are never seen from again. And, Aseric is a very powerful lich. So it's hard to imagine what horrors that you might encounter inside the tomb, but hey, he is more than happy to help you in any way that he can, short of providing manpower.
Well, I think as we still have cubes to find and things to do in Omu, if when we leave here and travel across the bridge across the water, it would be a sign of assurance of safety and cooperation if he kept the Wanti on the east side of the water, giving us free range to do what we need to do to gain entrance to the tomb.
Yes, I will do what I can about that. In my weakened condition, a few of my enemies, I can't say I control them all, but I will do my best to make sure that you are unhindered by my clan during your stay in Omu. And as a sign of good faith and to help you in encountering the dangers of the Tomb of the Nine Gods, I'm going to give you each a magical weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. A little concerned, but not gonna look a gift snake in the mouth.
Yeah. And so yes, you all can take a +1 weapon of whatever choice you want.
If there's a long sword
Do we have anything besides
If there's a
weapons?
long
Or?
sword in there, I call dibs on it.
They've got a collection of them.
Ooh, let's window shop.
So, whatever your favorite weapon is, you are able to find a +1 version.
Sweet.
And Sheer, I'll drag a +1 longsword over to you.
Alright, thank you.
You wouldn't, and those are just +1 melee weapons. You don't happen to have a +1 Rod of the Pact Keeper?
No.
I have to ask.
Melee and ranged.
Well, if they happen to have a very sparkly rapier, then I shall partake in that.
Hmm,
Yeah, you have no trouble finding your preferred weapon. Damn it. I just lit the wrong end of a cigarette.
trying to figure out how to make it +1.
You can open your character sheet, go to the Actions tab. You're making the glaive +1.
Unless there's a special crazy net thing I can get.
I know on the net. And so, where you got the glaive, you got that little magnifying glass.
Alright, so there's a magnifying glass.
That's over by the round circle.
I'm not seeing a magnifying glass. See a round circle and like a little equipped thing. Magnifying glass.
Yeah, you're on your Actions tab.
Oh, it's the actions. Like you mean, okay.
Yeah, in between your damage and the round circle, there's a magnifying glass.
Okay, then I put 1 in the bonus.
Correct. And
How do you code it for magic, just to bypass
Uh,
resistances? Is it space? Is it comma space or?
comma space magic.
Alright,
Yep.
so it'd be +1 bonus to hit, +1 damage.
Correct.
That should be good. Okay.
How's it going?
Hey, man.
Hey, look what I found under this tree.
Look what we found humping the lead.
Oh, I figured
Random
out where
animal.
I figured out where we
Straight.
found that wall climbing stuff. It was under Bestial Soul for 6th level.
That's it. I knew I'd read it somewhere.
It like
Apparently I
pops out of
can-
our book bag as a rat or something. Like during the fights and stuff, he was just hiding. But when it's time to get a magic weapon, he's like, "Oh, here I am, guys! I was here the whole time."
I didn't hear anything about a magic weapon. All I know is that the kid wanted pizza, so we ate pizza, and then I was sent to Dairy Queen for an ice cream cake, and we sang happy birthday, and then he went off to play games, and I looked at the wife, and she's like, "Yes, you are released from your fatherly duties." And I came running down here, trampling a dog and a cat in the process. So,
Oh, that's funny.
So we're going off to the tombs then.
So, I'm sorry, Steph. Long story short, they took the diplomatic solution to the Yanti. Rosnisi has provided the 9th puzzle cube that you need, and in order to help you encounter the dangers and to defeat the death curse of which he is a victim of, he's given you all magic weapons.
oh, nice.
So,
Everybody gets +1 weapon then, basically?
yes.
Oh, okay. I've never really used a weapon. I'm not even sure what I'm allowed to as a druid.
Quarterstaff.
Scimitar or like wood weapons, like clubs, staff, darts,
Swaley would be good.
sling. Yeah,
Flower bouquet.
yeah. He's rocking
You are a
right
druid.
now.
I am a druid, yes. Well, and supposedly. So it says here, blah, 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 blah. Quick build. Yep. Sacred plants and wood. Goods of God. Class features. Weapons. Clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, maces, quarterstaffs, scimitars, sickles, slings, and spears. A sickle, that's like what the Grim Reaper uses, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
thought-
sickle's a small
That's a
small one.
A scythe is the
Scythe is the big one that you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
it's like
yeah.
a one-handed sickle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know.
Think USSR, the
Right,
hammer and
right.
sickle.
Yeah. Okay. Slings and spears. Not much there, is there?
Does
Yeah,
Rosnisi have anything that would help us with all the undead that we're likely to find in Aceric's Tomb of Horrors?
No, not really. Not that he's willing to part with.
Great.
I'm just gonna go for the +1 quarterstaff. I guess.
Yeah, and really, Rosnisi doubts that you will encounter zombies in the tomb.
Yeah, maybe they get all like zapped away.
Yeah, the tomb itself is actually a pretty secure place if you don't have the 9 puzzle cubes.
Okay, so we got all 9 now, right?
Yes, and
No, we still have to look for some. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
out of game, yes. In game, you still gotta find some.
Alrighty. And did we level, or we're still all 6th level?
Oh yeah, we're still sitting on 6. We're even still giving Kathma more experience. What?
Yeah, did take him off the party sheet, Kathma.
He's off doing his like human trafficking thing.
I thought he was at The Hague under trial or something.
Human trafficking. As we're standing there talking to the Woon T, we see a little candy truck go by. all the young snakes went running out to it. I got small rodents on a stick.
Too funny.
They took one of our guys. We're gonna take one of their guys too.
Right.
Okay.
Cap driving it with that sick look on his face.
Back to the snake den. I am very pleased with you all for finding a diplomatic solution. And I'm gonna show you what you missed on the map by doing diplomacy.
Which map is it? You may have to share it with me. I don't know if it was shared with me.
Give me just a second. It's
Just breaking down the doors seemed difficult.
unmasking. Oh, they were, and if you rush the door, the hell is going? Sorry, I've got a Fantasy Grounds lag happening.
Is it the Fane of the Night Serpent? Is that?
Yes, that is the map.
Oh, okay. I'll just open up that then. It's taking its time opening.
Yeah, they really did not compress the images. And of course I'm unmasking as well, so it's been a long time since I got hit with Fantasy Grounds lag.
Oh, there's everybody.
So anyway, through diplomacy, you just skipped an entire chapter of the book.
Nice.
Wow.
So, as a result, I had not expected it to go diplomatic, so the next couple of sessions I had planned out around the Fane, which completing this level would up you to the next level.
Oh, we can level up
Woohoo!
in the tomb, though, right?
Actually, I'm going to let you all go ahead and move up now, and we'll start next week actually with the tomb. And then we'll have probably 10 or 12 weeks of wrapping that up.
So do you just want us to manually go up to the next level?
Yeah, go ahead and drag your class over and level up.
Anyone know what the next level experience?
I don't even know what level we are anymore.
It's
We
interesting.
we're just going up to 7.
Yeah, you.
All right, I got Feral Instinct, so I can roll initiative twice to take the best.
I get evasion.
Okay.
Oh, so waiting for that.
34,000 gets you to level 8.
Thank you.
7th level. Proficiency is +3. I don't get anything special on the features list.
34,000.
New spell level for you though.
Oh,
Odd number level, yeah.
so I get 4th level spells now.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh boy.
And since you are now 7th level, the DC on death saving throws is now 15 to pass.
Ugh.
So it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Yes. The closer you get to the cause, well, this is as worse as it gets.
Okay, what do we got here? Got blight, confusion, conjure, freedom of movement, giant insect. Sweet. Ice storm. Look at creature clover, stone shape. Fire.
Okay.
I don't remember druid level 4 spells too well. I do know cleric level 4 spells are very meh.
And guys, I'll BRB.
1 4th level spell slot.
Do we have any way to like deal with ability or like level drain stuff?
No, but there's not really much level drain in 5th.
Okay.
A lot of like it's more to the effect that it like it permanently like reduces your hit points or something. Not permanently, but because you get it back after like 24 hours usually. That's kind of how like the level drain kind of translated to this edition.
Okay. So we don't need to get like a restoration potion or something before heading out.
No.
I
Oh,
have-
geez, my sneak attack went up. Oh, nice. That's 4d6 now.
Trying to remember how to add a 4th level spell spot on my actions tab. Why do I forget this every time?
I think when you drag your class over, it'll do it automatically.
See it? Maybe it's up here somewhere. We got
If you go to the top of your spells, like there's usually kind of like the little circles.
yeah. See this? I've got Oh, I know I got it. Oh, there we go.
And so is that it for this session then?
Yeah, pretty much. It sounds like.
Yeah,
I
we're
can't-
just leveling up.
Yeah, I can't do that from work, so if that's it, I'm just gonna bounce. See y'all next week when I'll actually be here.
All right.
Okay.
Later.
Cool.
Bye.
Fourth level spells. Would summon greater demon help us or hurt us? Probably a bad thing.
You just trying to piss him off?
That sounds
Just summon everything all the time.
That sounds perfect.
Because really, it attacks what's ever near us. So as long as I cast it far away, it kills everything before it gets to us.
Yeah, that would work great.
I think the negative is the material cost is the blood of someone who died within the last 24 hours.
Can you use your imp?
Well, lizard guy's got to eat every day, right? So if he kills, like, you know, like another Yonti that we find lying around, would that work?
Yeah.
It's a humanoid. Killed in the last 24 hours.
But a Yonti's a humanoid, though.
Yeah, ish.
I'm back.
Yeah, I guess the imp wouldn't work if you need a humanoid.
Yeah.
You could. I'm sure you'll find some in the tomb. Some grave robbers or something.
Who are we eating?
We're just deciding who to sacrifice in order to summon a greater demon.
Okay.
He plans on more summonings.
As long as it's not wolves.
Well, you still did something funny to that last charm that Diego gave me, so I think we're all interested to see what's going to happen with that thing.
I told you, there's a cow orbiting the planet.
Yeah, we're deep in a mountain. It's Cheyenne Mountain. We'll be fine. Sickening radiance. That's nice. Sure, why not?
Okay, so I don't get another thing until level 9. Another class ability. So I think I'm done. But I did get evasion, so that's nice. That'll save me from fireballs. Next level would be really nice. Get that 20 in the stat. That's what I want.
Okay, sickening radiance.
Jeez, a 4, 3 3s, and a 2.
Change one other spell. So he said that we will not likely
There
see
we go.
undead in the tomb.
This is lying.
Zombies.
Target. Banishment.
And I have my mighty 45 hit points.
And you're gonna need every one of them.
I'm just kind of happy that I managed to live it to get evasion. Because now I got uncanny dodge and evasion, so makes me feel a little bit safer.
Or dimension door.
Dimension door is pretty handy.
Yeah, if we need to move lots of people across like a chasm or something, that might.
I think you can only bring one person with you that's your size.
That's like hardly a door then, isn't it?
And you're small, right? So you wouldn't be able to bring any of us because we're all medium-sized creatures.
You bring the familiar.
I can always bring familiar.
Suspension's door is kind of like an escape, being surrounded card.
Yeah, I got Misty Step for that. And that's bonus action. That's a better purpose for that.
Good if you're at the bottom of the pit.
Charm monster. Or banishment. Banishment might work. Put someone in a timeout box for a
banishment
minute.
could be, it could be big.
That might be.
Going crowd control or damage?
And I think if it's like something that's not from this plane, you can lock them out.
You can lock anybody, even if they're from this plane. You lock them into a demi-plane for a minute. So it's basically
For a minute, but I think if they're from like another one, you
They're
banish
gone.
them. That's it. If they fail that save, they're gone. They have to come back on another way. They don't just pop back at the end of the spell.
Yeah, it says if it's a plane of existence that you're other than the one you're on, it's banished to its home plane.
So you didn't want to go the demon summoning?
And some setup involved.
Be good for large fights.
Concentration up to an hour. Summon a demon from the abyss. Challenge rating 5 or lower. Summon it into an empty space 60 feet away. Roll initiative. Can issue commands. If I don't, it will attack anything in its reach.
Blight is always good too. Hallucinatory terrain could be interesting.
Well, this Asarak is bad news. Maybe banishment would.
Good point, it could come in handy.
Hoping it can.
Crowd control option.
Well, it only works on one.
Yeah, but if you hit their mage or something.
Right.
Lock out like a dangerous melee combatant or something while we concentrate on heavier things.
And get rid of.
But I mean, like if there's a more useful level 3 spell, you can just snatch up that, can't you?
Fireball or something.
Because all your spells just go up to like everything's level 4.
But I can add one spell and then I can change one spell, right? Per level. You get move it up a level. You can change a spell.
You got fireball already, right?
No, my warlocks don't get fireball.
Get lightning bolt though, right?
No.
You don't get lightning bolt either?
No. No, we get Eldritch Blast, which is the best cantrip in the game, but you don't get we don't get Wall of Fire, you don't get Fireball, you don't get Chain Lightning.
Well, isn't like one of those things like as you level up as a warlock, it gets better and better.
As a cantrip, it does get better, and plus, I get a new invocation, so I'm adding Repelling Blast. So every time I hit somebody, it knocks them back 15 feet.
Yeah.
So that's 2 people being knocked back 15 feet and taking 1d10 plus charisma damage. That's not bad.
Are you looking for something with big damage? Because probably the best thing you could grab for big damage is Blight.
Really? I thought that was mostly plants.
That's what I just grabbed.
Blight is like double damage against plants or max damage against plants, but it's still like what, like it's still 8d8 necrotic damage on a failed saving throw, half on a successful one, no effect on undead or constructs, and it's necrotic. But if it's against a plant, then they save at disadvantage and the spell deals maximum damage.
Yeah, we're going against zombies though, right?
Well, according to Rosnisi, there's no undead that he can give us shit to help with.
So I don't think zombies are a problem.
Maybe, yeah.
I think we'll be halfway into this going,
Yeah,
Tim,
I mean,
I would like to point out.
It is a lich as well. Like, it is a lich as well. So...
But is it a plant-based lich?
Probably not.
Probably not.
He did
really
say
cool
zombies, not undead.
So maybe Blight isn't the best choice.
Maybe not. It is necrotic, right? So, I mean, that's why I mentioned necrotic, because there could be, given the fact it's a lich, there could be things that are resistant to.
This is a jungle campaign. You're going to fight other plant horrors.
Yes, you will find several things that Blight is useful for.
I remember, not the last campaign, maybe the other campaign I ran was I hit my druid with a blight, like from I think we were doing a Curse of Strahd, and I had Strahd hit him with a blight spell, like did like 42 damage to him. They were like level 4 too, like, or level 4, level 5. They weren't very high level. It's just that, like, you know, Strahd was making random appearances just to scare them. And then he was just playing around with them, and then one of them counterspelled him, and he's like, you know, crazy arrogant, so he kind of took it as a personal affront and then just beat the shit out of the party and left them there. Didn't help when the barbarian managed to get his hands on the magic sword and cornered him in a small room, raging. They found him right away. They had full everything. The castle didn't get to do anything to lower their hit points or their spell slots. They just picked a direction. They weren't even thinking about any clues or anything. They just picked a direction, and it just happened to go to where the randomness of he was going to be was. But hey, that's what happens.
I so want to finish Strahd.
I love that whole campaign. That whole thing is fun. There's so much that we didn't even do because they refused to go to the third village. Just absolutely refused. Refused to go to the lake. They wanted nothing to do with the lake. They didn't want to go hunt down the wizard. They didn't follow up on Rictavia or anything like that. They refused to go to the destroyed village. So it was like and they didn't bother like checking in with the werewolves at all. So like they like missed like half of everything.
Yeah, I played it and ran it, and both times right before they went to the castle the first time, the campaign went belly up.
It was funny when they first left Barovia, the village of Barovia, and they were walking by kind of like where the road meets to the main road that can either go to Vallaki or to Castle Ravenloft. Like I had Strahd's like coach there, and like just the door open to see if they would go in and go meet with him just to see. You know, who knows? Of course they didn't. They're like, fuck that, we're not going in there. You kidding? We're level 3. We're not going in the fucking coach and going up to that castle.
That's funny. Yeah, I would like to just run the castle part of the campaign.
Oh, I know. There's so much good stuff, like the little doll, the armor. There were so many things I wanted to just have the group run, but no, they just fucking picked a direction and they just went. They just found him right away. They found like his parents' tomb, and then they found him, and that was it. It was all done. They like had his mom. They had his mom's. They stole his mom's bones and put it in a bag and like hit him with it, thinking that that was going to be something that would negate his powers. Like just how like groups will sometimes get these random fucking ideas. So he just like stole his mom's dead bones, like ground and like just threw them in a sack, and threw it at him. First action in the game during the fight.
Yeah, nothing
your
like
mom's bones.
Nothing like pissing off the bad guy right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the sorcerer who did it too. So the sorcerer ended up getting the shit kicked out of him like 2 or 3 times, but just couldn't get rid of him and lock down the barbarian. The only time the barbarian was making wisdom saving throws. The only time all campaign. Constantly failed them, was constantly mind controlled, and I stopped mind controlling him because I really wanted to be kind of a surprise, like because he had the sword to turn the raging barbarian, the bear totem barbarian against the party with the sword. But he made all of his saves that fight. He made like 3 different saves.
So I should have 8 spells. And I can get Wall of Fire because I'm a Celestial. Okay. 8 spells.
Well, there you go. Wall of Fire's not bad. It's like the one good cleric spell that some clerics can get. Like Light and Forge, I think.
And hey, the tomb just got a new delivery of gasoline, so yeah, take that one.
Hey, I'm fine. I just gotta pass the deck save, and I'll take no damage. I got evasion now.
Well, within reason, as the entire complex is exploding.
No invulnerability frames. I can just just roll out of the way.
That's right. You're screwed, dude.
The old the end scene of the old 80s action movies where the guy just gets it out of the slow motion dive out of the doorway as it explodes behind him.
Yeah, and you wonder how the shockwave didn't kill him.
Because he had evasion.
And did anybody take banishment?
I did not.
There was discussion of it.
There was a discussion of it, yes.
Yeah.
One of us should take banishment?
No, I was just wondering.
Asking for a friend.
yeah, pretty much.
Do druids have banishment?
I don't think so.
We can
Clerics
banish,
do.
like, trees or something, right?
Yeah, we can banish trees. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, like Fae is another plane, so maybe.
I mean, I can call Fae. There's a conjure woodland beings.
There you go, guys. Just get more summons.
Yeah, to frolic. Come frolic with this lich. But, yeah, I gotta say, my spells are kind of lame. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not playing the druid correctly, but he's not as exciting as I thought he'd be.
I like a lot of the druid spells, but like a lot of the spells are not flashy.
No, they're not. They're
But I mean, like, there's some things in there that I just love, like for druids. There's just some like very unique spells that other classes don't get.
Yeah, I mean, I got, speak with plants and sleet storm. I can meld into the stone. So, oh man, my party's getting their ass kicked. And then, where the hell did Druid go? This is bullshit, man. And he's in the stone.
Yeah. Polymorph. Polymorph's a good one for you too, being you want to be shapeshifting. You can polymorph other things.
Yeah. Be like, why'd you just turn Shearer into a frog? What the hell, man? Well, he didn't have will save, so that seemed like we're in combat, you fool. Yeah, well, now we won't have to listen to a bitch.
This is how like the end scene. This is gonna be the end scene of our campaign. Is you turn Cheer into like a dog, and then you transform into a dog, and then fade to black.
No. Now you guys just up the creep factor significantly.
I don't even like. I remember there was an encounter with dogs, and you changed into a dog. That's all I remember that really happened, and somehow it went to this.
Twisted and warped
by
disgusting gamers. That's what happened. You guys turned something that was beautiful and ruined it with your sick, twisted mind. That's what happened.
Wow.
That was
listening to you talk, I now see how this happened originally.
You took something beautiful and ruined it.
Ice Storm's pretty good though. I remember Ice Storm, and there's a lower level one, like a level 3 version of Ice Storm, I think, like Sleet Storm or something. Yeah.
Sleet Storm.
Those are fun because if they fall down, right, like they're prone, you get advantage attacking them. They're disadvantage attacking you. It's. I remember in I think the last campaign we ran, and that was I used it a lot. I remember we dropped it in. Yeah. Well, that's it. It's like a lot of it is kind of like how you use it.
All I know is that whenever we get into combat, the other guys are like, okay, I'm going to run over here, I'm going to hit this guy, and I'm going to run over there, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go over here, I'm going to stir the soup, I'm going to run back over here, I'm going to do this. Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Well, some of us are it's very simple. Like, run up, hit them, and in my case, I run away. And then, so I don't have spells that I have to look through or try to figure out good uses for. It's very, I'm very, very much a hammer. Just, you can't get, you don't improve the hammer. They're not making brand new hammers like with new technology or anything. Fucking hammer's the same thing it's always been because it works.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, guys. I'll let you all finish leveling up, but I will prep. We'll start the tomb actually next week.
Yeah, I'm all done.
Because I really did not expect this to go diplomatically.
Oh. See what happens when the druid isn't there to fuck everything up?
I kind of figured he would be the one fucking everything up.
Because that's how he rolls. Boom. Hey, well, sorry I didn't get in till just half an hour ago, but sounds like you did just fine without me. So.
Well, you would have had half a game if we didn't, throw everything out the window by successfully negotiating magic weapons and the orb.
Worst is when they do it. I was playing an adventure path one time, and the first thing, one of the guys is like, I don't do water adventures. I'm like, the entire next chapter is all a water adventure. He goes, my character will not go in there. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I'm like, so you're quitting the game? He goes, no, I just won't go in there. And then everybody else is like, yeah, well, if he's not going in, we're not going in. I'm like, okay.
That's in my mind like where a little bit of metagaming is supposed to happen, because part of the whole negotiation of playing this game is you got to have a character that wants to go and do this.
Here's the thing. My thing is the DM puts in quite a bit of time sometimes prepping and this and that. And then when you come along, you're like, oh yeah, dude, I'm not doing that. You're like, but that's the adventure. Oh yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
Well, some players just seem to think that like the DM has to do everything, including inserting them into the world. And I'm telling people is like, you got to have a reason for this character to want to be here. You know, like when people are making characters and people start building, you know, I always have a player that does, you know, the Wolverine character, the Punisher character, the guy who is the tough loner who works outside the rules and doesn't like people, so he's the one sitting in the corner. But I'm like, hey, you got to have a reason to go with this group because I am not running 2 separate campaigns.
Right.
So, you know, so
Yeah,
so
my
you have
Pathfinder game, they keep splitting up and going different directions on me. And last game, I even killed one. I'm like, all right, well, this guy's gonna die. So whap.
yeah, like
You know, and
what I
still-
tell them is like,
yeah.
this is kind of what I'm like. It's going to be an adventure. Like say, like in this, like we're doing a survival jungle adventure or something, right? You know, and so you got to bring a character that wants to go into this jungle adventure.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm
Don't
running
bring like the princess who never wants to go anywhere and doesn't want to do anything and only has her guards around her and expect me to somehow shoehorn her into like some, you know, Indiana Jones style shit.
Well, on Thursday nights, I run Curse of the Crimson Throne, and it's all in the city, but it kind of assumes that the characters want to save the city. Reading on the message boards, people are like, yeah, all my players decided they didn't give a shit about the city, so they bailed. Now I got to create a whole campaign, not Curse of the Crimson Throne. They just left it to its fate and wandered off.
I find that my players just want they tend to play better and enjoy the time more if I hold their hands a little bit more than I think I need to. Like
Right.
I push them, I have to push them, I have to take them to hold their hands, drag them out the door, and take them to the bus stop, make sure they get on the bus and go to school
And
for
then
them to
drive
do
it.
it. And then once they're doing that, and they know what they have to do at school, they're good. They're fine. You know,
Yeah.
but I have to drag them to the bus stop or they won't think to ever get on the bus.
My problem is that I'll use like I'll say, okay, make a knowledge local check because that's where the next clue is, and they'll all fail it repeatedly. They're like, can I take a 20? No, you cannot take a 20 on a knowledge local. You either know it or you don't. Okay, well, I rolled a 3. It's like, fine, okay, find this note.
I've been using when that happens to me lately. I've been still giving them the information that they should probably like find, but I penalize them in a different way. Like it takes you so many hours to figure this out.
Right.
And then and then because of it, there's so many hours. Well, now it's nighttime. Maybe shit's different than if they could have had a better roll and maybe figured this out a little bit earlier. Or maybe the shops are closed and now they have to wait another day before they can stock up if they really want to.
Right.
Something to that effect, because there's been a couple of times in the last couple of years where I've done like this thing that was either based on a role or they had to do like one specific thing and they never fucking figure it out. And I feel like an asshole for, for making an encounter that way. So
Right.
yeah, now I kind of just let them, just find like another way to give it to them just cause I don't want to do, cause I don't want to be the guy who's like, man, the highest roll is a 7. All right, well, you know, anyways, I'll just give you that or something.
Right.
You know, I'm always like,
Yeah.
it takes you the better part of a day and about, you know, like 3 gold coins as you're like paying for drinks to eventually realize that, you know, this person is so-and-so's cousin and therefore they might live, you might be able to find them at that person's house or something stupid, you know, like.
Yeah, you got to leave notes out. Oh, what do you know? There just happens to be a scroll there with a big arrow that points off to the right.
Yeah.
What?
Like my players, my players need that kind of hand holding. Like I try to like give them the sandbox, but the sandbox experience just has them scared.